Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Star with Star Tarot, and today I am doing my very first deck review, which I'm so excited about. This is the Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited deck by Christabel Jessica and illustrated by Danielle Nicole. It is an amazing deck. It found me, I did not find it. I was looking for something that I could use for divine feminine and divine masculine reading. Did not know this existed, and once I started doing a little digging, this popped up, and there's only two reviews on it. One of them was by the creator and the other one was by another individual that had purchased the deck, and I instantly fell in love. And so I went ahead and I emailed the creator, which is Christabel, and I let her know that I was totally blown away by what her and Danielle had created. And so we talked back and forth via email, and we have quite the interesting parallel lives. And so she decided to gift this to me, and here I am to review it. So I will start with the box. If you are someone like me who does collect decks and does like to keep the box is very important as far as it being sturdy. Definitely a sturdy box. It's like your typical hay house type of box here. Very, very sturdy, easy to open. But when I say it's very, very sturdy. So um, there's that. Love the image. I mean, a lot of times when you are looking at decks, they're usually very feminine. But I liked that they allowed the masculine tone to really be kind of like the spotlight, and then just that little hint of feminine. It was just a perfect balance, and I loved that it had more of a masculine tone than a feminine tone. I just loved it. I thought that it was very, very uh, sexy of them to consider bringing the forefront of the masculine with a little bit of feminine, and it just balanced out very well for me. But let me just give you a little insight of what this deck is about. It has 44 cards, and it features 11 goddesses, 11 gods, 11 cards that represent the shadow, and 11 cards representing the healing outcome. Dedicated to bringing balance between all aspects of duality that we experience here on earth: masculine, feminine, light, shadow. Bringing the traditional mythology of ancient goddesses and gods into the modern world, matched with shadow and light cards that are realistic and relatable to life in our time. Pulling a card from each section gives you an overall look into your current situation. Absolutely love it. And you guys are going to love this as well, because you're really going to be getting four decks in one. Even though it has 44 cards, these cards say so much. Okay, they say so much. Now, it does come with a guidebook, which is always a good thing. um, I love the fact that the pages are like that smooth type of paper. I just prefer that. And it does show each card in here, and it gives, information on each card, of course. Book is done really well. It's your typical guidebook. And there is some information in there pertaining to the creator and the illustrator, and even the project manager that helped to get this deck out and off of the ground. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at these cards. Oh my god. So this is the first thing that I saw, was this image here, and this is what blew me away. I could not believe what I was seeing. This yin and yang artwork here just blew me away. I hadn't seen anything else, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I want it. All I knew is I liked it, it spoke to me, and I wanted it. But this is what the back of these cards look like. So you have the feminine, and then if you flip it, you have the masculine, yin and yang. This is on each and every back of each card. Okay, this is so yummy. And then they have the gold, the gilded sides. Okay, who doesn't love a gilded side? All right, beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and break it on down, these cards per category. I want you to really be able to see each card so that you can make an informed decision. If you are someone that collects cards, I know you guys are going to love this. And we're going to start off with the first category. And let me just break it down to you as well that, like I said, how I feel like you're getting 4 decks in one. Each category has its own color associated with it, so that you can keep them definitely in order once you're done doing a reading. But the first card that comes out is the Mary Magdalene, the goddess of strength. And I just was blown away at this image because I think that the illustration is so perfect to have like this smoky back, and the sides really are subdued. It's like that neutral, but then she has that bright red, which speaks strength to me. So that is the very first card out of the deck. Next we have the goddess of sensuality, the Freyja. I just love this deck. Just love it. Isis, goddess of magic. I mean, these illustrations, I mean, every single card I look at is just extremely breathtaking. Like, why you would not want this deck, I would have no idea. But this is Athena, goddess of wisdom. So well put together. Kali, goddess of destruction. Yeah, no, she literally, I mean, she looks like she is coming to destroy, okay, at any cost. You don't want to cross her. Definitely don't want to do that. But that's one of my favorites out of the goddess. Goddess of rage. I really love what they did with the yellow and the red there. Very beautiful. We have Lilith, goddess of power. That one is very, very mysterious as well. It does speak power to me, but it also speaks mystery. God, these are so well done. Pachamama, goddess of forgiveness. And what I also love about what the illustrator did is that she really, really knew the cultural background of each god and goddess, and it was represented very, very well on each of these cards, and I loved that. There are some cards that I have seen in the past that are supposed to represent a certain cultural background, and I just don't get it. It just doesn't represent what their true culture is, but this deck definitely does it. The goddess of endurance. Yes, there's something about this card, and some of these cards really speak to me, and I don't even know why yet. I'm sure once I use them, I will know. But this deck, or this card rather, goddess of endurance, you know, it, to me as women, when we look in the mirror and you know we see our flaws and we don't necessarily see all of our beauty like other people do. You know, some people can see us and think, wow girl, you look good, and we know our flaws, we know our own insecurities, yet we must endure. I don't know if this is what this card symbolizes, but when I look at this intuitively, that's what it speaks to me. And I think that's what I really love about this deck as well, is that if you are an intuitive reader, you can get so very much out of just looking at the card itself, and even the imagery and the background. It's never too much, it's never too little. And if you are someone like me, like I said, that uses the book, Christabel writes very, very well. And so you're really getting such a gift with this deck, because the writing and the illustration together really flows nicely. So, um, I just encourage some of you to use the book once in a while, you know. But this is the Kanyen, Goddess of Nourishing. And this, again, is one of the cards that really, really, um, you know, right on the nail with the cultural imagery. Really believe it. All right, this is Goddess of Love, Hathor. They're so seductive, they're so sensual and stunning, they're so feminine, and that's what I love about it, because that divine feminine, that energy is very strong, no matter what um, goddess you're pulling off of. I mean, a goddess is a goddess for a reason, and I really want to see the strength in each goddess, and this deck definitely did it. There have been other decks that I as well, where I'll see, Freyja is really, really strong, and then Pachamama might be really dulled down, and I'm like, no, that is not the message. But with this deck, you really see the strength and the beauty in each and every goddess. Um, and this is the Goddess of Creation. Now, I will let you know, I think I remember, and I'm so excited now because I'm just remembering this, that this goddess is not in every single deck. There was a limited amount of decks that ended up getting this particular goddess in their deck. And I remember there was something that I needed to look for to be like, oh my God, I wonder if I'm going to receive that additional card. But I got so excited I forgot until now. So yes, yay, I got one of the um, editions that had this one in it. So this is all of the goddesses that we've seen so far. So now we're going to look at the gods. The God of Unity. Is he not beautiful? He just reminds me of Jesus, right? Um, and that's what Jesus was always trying to do, was that unity. And I feel like this is a perfect counterpart if we do this here. Didn't plan on doing this, but this is the perfect counterpart to him, wouldn't you say? I mean, this is what it's supposed to be all about. So absolutely, they complement each other well. So this is the God here. And let's just do it this way. Okay. And put her back over here. And then we have the God of Sensuality. Yes, and I really, really love how um, the the illustration with the men as well, the masculine. I feel like they have just as enough as a story as the women, just based on the imagery. I have seen also again where I feel like you could do a lot with the illustrations for women, but then there's something lacking when it comes in the imagery for men, and they did an awesome job. And this is the God of Transformation, another one that is already my favorite, and yeah, so I didn't even know if this is exactly how it's intended, but for me, I'm already feeling like I see their counterpart, and I believe so. I believe that's how it's to be done. But these are just amazing. This one here literally spoke to me, and I can't wait to use this deck and see how this actually works here. All right, and then we have the God of Wisdom, which is also still amazing. Not a lot going on in the background with this card if you were just to look at it, but if you look even deeper, there's just enough to let you know that, you know, he is the wisdom. He has the wisdom. There's hidden aspects that the average person would not be able to acknowledge, but for him, he definitely has it, and I love that. Love it. God of Obstruction. Ooh, there's just something about him. Yes, he literally is easy on the eyes, I'll tell you that. And his Goddess of Destruction, look at them as a pair. Are they not just, they are fierce. They are, yeah, a force to be reckoned with for sure. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then we have the God of Battle. Now, the other woman that did the review, she did a very good job. I think she did like a, she did a mini reading with it, and she actually drew that card and what she intuitively read about him, and what she read in the book about him as well, is what I was trying to say. She intuitively read it and read the book, and that's what literally sold me. I already knew that I wanted the deck, but I had to have it at that point because she really did a good job. I wish I remembered her name, but there's only 2 reviews on there, so if you want to check that out, I encourage you to do so. But these 2, I'm guessing, would be more so the counterparts. God of Protection. Love this card here because, and that's the other thing that I love, is that you literally can look at these cards, and some of these cards, a lot of these cards speak to you exactly what, you know, they are saying. And that's why I said it's so easy for you to intuitively read them. I do encourage reading the book, but when I think about protection, it doesn't always have to be, you know, imagery of having all of these, you know, weapons and things like that. You know, bringing the light to a dark situation is what I see to that, you know, and I love it. I love it so much. Very good job with the protection imagery. God of Awakening. Now, this one is very interesting to me. I'm going to have to take some time to read that. It is a Native American goddess. I don't really know much about him, and it is the God of Awakening. So that one is really interesting. I'm going to look a little bit more into that. And then this is the counterpart here. And again, I don't know if this is how it was intended to be, but this is how I am literally seeing this, okay? I haven't even had a chance to read the book, but I will. But I just wanted to get it out there because I plan on using this today to start some readings. Okay, so Thor, the God of Action. Very, very colorful. Love it. And that card to me speaks of action. Looks, when I look at it, I think Thor. There's no guessing there at all. At all. And then this one I love. This is God of Vulnerability. You know, this speaks to me of just, especially when you're talking about the twin flame journey. I know that there's a lot of people that don't like that term. You know, they say it's unhealthy. I definitely do know a lot about it. I could see why people say that, but I think that you might perceive it that way if you don't have, a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of knowledge about it, but I do feel like there are individuals that do have, um, some knowledge about it, that it speaks to them in a way that's not negative, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to, debunk anyone's feelings or beliefs or anything like that. But I said all that to say that there are certain levels to it, and there is a point in time where, someone does have to become vulnerable in order to allow this union to ultimately come together. And so for me, that card is really deep because it is the masculine that is putting his sword down and almost surrendering to what this unity means to him. And ultimately, that's what the journey is about. Not necessarily it having to be the masculine being the runner, because there is a runner and then there is, the chaser. But the fact that he is masculine, he is strong, and there's so much strength in being vulnerable, where sometimes vulnerability is looked at as weak. This card really represents that vulnerability is definitely a strength, and I absolutely love this card. Absolutely love it. Love it. God of Love. I really, really connect with this card as well. Um, Again, love is something that is so deep, it's so powerful, and I think that this card says that. And I love the fact that it brings out strength, because you do have to be strong. If you're going to be someone that plays in this game of love, you do have to be very, very strong in order to endure the ups and downs of it. So again, love what that card says and how it makes me feel. Okay, so this is how they look, together as gods and goddesses, and then of course we have this extra in there. Um, but we are going to look at the next category, what is the shadow. Love this. And the light and the shadow are literally like, they're in our time. So we have the codependency card. Okay. All right. Which is something that, we do deal with right now in our lifetime. Very good and relatable. Miscommunication. I love how they illustrated this. I mean, this is brilliant. I don't know, and I consider myself a very creative person. I don't know if someone said, hey, I need you to illustrate miscommunication. I don't know if I would have been able to come up with this concept, but they did a very, very good job with that as well, in my opinion. Inner child. And again, the shadow and light portions of this deck literally do a very great job with you being able to read it intuitively. The inner child, I mean, look at that. That's two adult people walking away from each other, but both of their inner children are reaching out for each other. That says so much. I mean, that card says so very much to me. It's a very spiritual connection, and the inner child is something that is very, very deep and is very, very real. So really appreciate that. Karma. Shadow. That shadow aspect, because we each have, a light and a shadow version of ourselves. Fear kind of speaks for itself. Physical element. I really, really appreciate this card because, um, this could speak about health issues, which is a real issue, right? It doesn't always have to be about, loving someone and not loving someone. There's other aspects of it. There is also the aspect of physically being in pain due to heartbreak, and the things that come along with it. So this card really, really gives a little bit of, when they say duality, like I feel like they give you a little bit of everything in this deck. So I really appreciate that. Abandonment. And this card I could see being used as, abandonment from the relationship, abandonment from, the family, a child being abandoned. I mean, if you pulled that card with the inner child, that could be an issue. That could be something that you or your partner is dealing with, being abandoned as a child, and now you have inner child issues. I mean, there's so much you could do with that abandonment card, and I'm glad that that illustration is the way that it. I mean, this is just the mindset behind some of these images. Boundaries. Grief and anger. Yeah, those sleepless nights, waiting up for someone to come home or to call, or, there's so much you could do with this deck. Separation. And what I like about this separation card is it really reminds us, that this is the modern world. We have the Facebook symbol, Instagram, Twitter, like all the social media. How many times have, there been a situation where you are separated from someone and you don't know how they are or what they're up to, and so you go and you look on their social media, or it just pops up, an old memory that you had posted of you and the individual. So I love that. Now we are going to look at the portion of the deck that speaks about light. That's unconditional love. Again, a really great representation of what unconditional love is. It's like the love between a mother and a child. Openness, which I think they also did something very, very different, which some other decks have pulled this off, but I think it was very important that they did it here, because a lot of times when we think about divine feminine and divine masculine, we don't think about, well, most people don't think about same-sex relationships. I mean, this is 2020, people. This is the reality of it, so there's something for everyone. Okay? It's about being open-minded, the card itself. And so I love that they gave something for everyone, and I love it. Transcendence. Just wonderful. Balance. Energy. Again, you could do a lot with that. Talks about, energy between you and another person, transferring energy, energy being low. This could speak about, your chakra levels being, needing to be aligned. There's so much you could do with all of these things here. Love that. Sacred sexuality. Love this. Sacred sexuality. You get a bird's eye view of this intimate moment. Again, another, like, you have to have real vision with some of these images. And that was really, really smart to think of, from a bird's eye view looking down. Love it. I so appreciate the images and the angles, and everything that has to do with making it appropriate to the intention. Rebirth. Yes, absolutely. Born again. This is another one that I love. Selfhood. Okay. This is all about self-love. This is all about enjoying your own time in your own space. I think a lot of us need to remember that during time of separation, or if you're not in a relationship, to spend some time with yourself, and enjoy your own company, and create this space where you are giving back to yourself and practicing self-love. And that's what this card simply does for me. Joy. Spending time together, being in each other's company, getting to know someone. Surrender. I love that. And the last card here is communion. Love it. Absolutely love this deck. It's very, very unique. Not gonna find another one out there like it, that's for sure. If you did like what you saw, please like, and certainly so if you are interested in this deck and wanting to purchase it, the website is christabeljessica.com. She also has a YouTube channel. I will go ahead and put all that information down below. Facebook and Instagram. A little bit about Danielle. She also has a website where she does all of her artwork, and she is a graphic designer. daniellenicole.ca is her website. And there is some information on the project manager if you are interested in creating your own project. That information does come in the book as well. But Christabel is a spiritual teacher and healer with a passion for supporting anyone in a sacred relationship and on a spiritual path. So this is what has prompted her to come up with this wonderful deck, because this is what she does. She is very spiritual, and she has a wonderful story, and I am so fond of her. And it's like I said, it's just so crazy how our lives are very parallel. And so, Jessica, if you are watching this, I hope that I did your deck do justice. And please, guys, if you are interested in this deck, go ahead and purchase it, and let me know how you like it. But thanks, guys, so much for tuning in, and I will be doing some more reviews. Till next time, bye bye.